welcome to episode 42 of On Second Thought with Mike and Matt, live on a Thursday night. Screw football. It's time for podcasting.
More
importantly, we got some breaking news hot off the presses. If you've been following the show or listening or whatever, we've been discussing, debating, talking about, bantering back and forth about the price of the Xbox ROG Ally X and the vanilla model. And the prices have now been revealed. $599 for the vanilla model and $999 for the Ally X. $1,000. Now
I've been saying all along.
Now they are $100 cheaper in the UK. They are $899 and $200 cheaper for the premium model. Just rolls right off the tongue. The Xbox ROG Ally X is $799 in the UK instead of $999 here, and the lower tiered model is $499 in the UK rather than $599 here. So I priced it out, Matt. I put it in my cart, and with taxes and everything, it would have come to $1,062 and change. So, of course, I did not press the order button. But there it is. Over $1,000 for the item here in the United States, considerably cheaper in the UK. How's that hitting you?
I figured it was going to be around that price for the premium one. It's a lot of money. That's a lot of cash laid down. But if they do it right and things go right, this could be a seller. A bit rich for me for what we're getting. Especially since I don't like the way it looks. But
since you have purchased a Ally X more recently, Matt, remind me, the RAM in the Ally X is not 24 gigabytes, right? It's 16. Is that correct?
I think so.
So
yeah.
So it seems like the difference potentially is the Xbox ROG Ally X has a faster processor and it's got 8 more gigabytes of RAM potentially. Matt's looking that up right now. So
I'm doing. Ally X has got 24 gigs of RAM.
The ones me and you have.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the only difference then is the processor is new. Slightly faster.
Yeah, it's got the Z2, right? The Z2 Extreme, or something like that.
And the form factor is different, and the Xbox, the Xbox button.
Right. So it comes pre-installed with the Xbox OS software, whatever.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some of this stuff later in the show, but that is brand new. Pre-orders are up. I'm seeing you can get it from Best Buy, Walmart, and other places. Curious how it sells, because we have some other items later on in the show about pricing and whatnot.
Nice.
But as we
exciting times.
Yes, we are living in exciting times. And I don't know about you, Matt. When I was a Ute, one of the most exciting things I did was go to see Spaceballs. And Spaceballs 2 is in production. And I just saw a beautiful photo of them. I like things that, would you say, satire or poke fun at other things. And there's a famous photo in 2014 of the Star Wars cast doing a reading around the table of the script of The Force Awakens.
Yes.
And today the Spaceballs 2 people posted a photo of them doing the live reading of Spaceballs 2, which
nice.
Which is
nice.
Very appropriate. Maybe it put a smile on your face, sir, because unfortunately, since we have spoken, there has been a power shift in Cincinnati with the Bengals. Your beloved quarterback went to the ground with some serious turf toe, and he's going to be out 3 months. Surgery on the toe.
Yeah, surgery was last Friday. Of course they say it went well. Um, you know, Joe Burrow is a snowflake. He is like a precious tissue paper.
No,
Um,
I like to call those players the Fabergé egg.
he is. Unfortunately, you know me, Mike. I don't talk negatively about my home teams much. Man, this is rough, dude. This is absolutely rough. I was reading all these things about turf toe and his ligaments and stuff going on. There's been 5 players that came back from this, and they didn't finish the season. And then the rest have never played football again.
Holy shit! Well, I would say,
Yeah.
I would say if they're having a poor season, by the time he's ready to come back, why bring him back?
He won't play.
Yeah,
Absolutely no. I agree.
not in the cold weather of Cincinnati or wherever else they got to travel to. Let him take the whole year.
Yeah, and Browning, he is very much capable of carrying this team. He's done it before. Last week the game was terrible, and granted the guy he played a half a game in a full game, so he's got to get back into his motion, and he's plays a different game than Joe Burrow. Brownie's more down the field type of guy. So, you got to change your schemes, you got to change your offense and so forth and that. I'm not sure Zach Taylor is prepared to do that. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough year again, unfortunately.
Well, why don't
all
you,
these hopes and dreams.
Why don't you just pop by the stadium with your, reams of plays and everything else that you've dialed up there as you're watching the game. We know you're writing down the schemes and schematics and weaknesses and everything else, and just put it on Zach's desk.
I was thinking about doing that. They're away this weekend, so I think that'd be the perfect time. No one would be around.
Yeah.
I come in with my Ally or my Steam Deck with my John Madden football and say, "Hey guys, come on, man. Let's try some new shit here. All right,
Yeah.
look what I've got here on the screen. Okay, let's
Look at me running the power zone option with 3 tight ends.
absolutely.
I mean, come on.
It works. Look right here. Look at me go. So that's this weekend's assignment. Mike, don't turn your phone off, okay? In case I need help. So
Yeah. We
if I
always
need to talk to someone,
well, you always need help. We're just not sure what it is this time.
that's true. Anyway, it's us
But
worrisome.
worrisome, but it is cozy season coming up. And
Yes.
if the Bengals do not do well in the standings,
We got so many Sundays open now.
you have a plethora of games. We can't cover everything. We have an agenda today, but I want to make sure at the top of the show that I recognize, because we do like to keep our finger on the pulse of gaming here. I do like to acknowledge that, Hades 2 came out today, is getting unbelievable scores, 10s across the board, a lot of 10s. Ghost of Yotei is coming out next week, PlayStation exclusive, the follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima. That's getting great scores as well. Dying Light the Beast came out last week. We got Battlefield 6 on the 10th of October.
10th or 16th?
I thought I just watched the trailer that said the 10th. Now, maybe that's for people that pre-order.
Oh.
Maybe that's
Okay.
And the fabulous trailer for Wolverine that was at the PlayStation State of Play yesterday looks unbelievable.
You mentioned that last night when we was playing, and I watched it today. Holy shit!
Yeah,
That's definitely a mature rating.
they're not holding anything back.
No.
And then the Tokyo Game Show is going on right now, and Microsoft announced Forza Horizon 6, which is going to be set in Japan. And that's coming next year. Wolverine is coming next year as well. So none of those stories are in our agenda today, but I wanted to acknowledge them off the top that there's a lot of exciting stuff going on in the game, or a lot of games. It's a hell of a year for gaming. You think of all the things you've already played this year and what we're playing now and what's coming out the rest of the year. It's been a 2025 is not held back as far as good games.
A lot of stuff I haven't played that I want to play. I mean, I'm looking at my desktop, all the games that, man, yeah, a hell of a year. Lots of stuff going on.
No, I still want to get to that Mafia game that came out. That's, it's a nicely priced game at $49, and it's getting good reviews. And then Assassin's Creed Shadows finally is like at $41, so maybe I'll pick up that.
Yeah, I've got that on my desktop. Claire Obscura, I still haven't played that. I mean, man.
And Blueprints came out, and,
Oh, that was a great game.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the game of the year. But Hades, could Hades win twice, Matt? They won it the first time. Let's see if they win it the second time with that game.
It's quite possible. I mean, there's a lot of games. I mean, yeah, Kingdom Come. That's got to be a game of year contender.
Was that this year?
I think so.
Well, if not, someone write in and let us know we're wrong. I can't.
I won't listen.
Next year, Matt, in baseball, they are bringing the robot umpires to MLB. I have seen this in action in the minor leagues when I went to see the Worcester Red Sox, the Woo Sox, and it was very, very seamless. Barely know if anybody's not even paying attention. You don't even know what's going on. But I am under the impression here that teams will get 2 challenges per game, and only the pitcher, catcher, or batter can challenge. There's just challenging balls and strikes. If you are successful, you keep those challenges going. You never lose them. If you are unsuccessful, you start to lose them. It goes into extra innings. You get 1 challenge per inning. I thought it was very seamless. 15 seconds is what it takes. I'm not opposed to it. I think some of these umpires, like a lot of people in the world, are feel like they're, would you say, above the law, beyond the pale, however you want to do it, on their high horse, stuck in their ways, etc. That I think
Angel Hernandez.
Well, he's long gone.
Yeah, I know. Well, he would. Oh my God! Can you imagine him with the
right? I know. And there's some other guys out there that are just as bad. So yeah, I mean, maybe if they see that in real time, they're getting that real time feedback. Like, hey, you're wrong. We'll start to see some better calls from the human umpires. But I know you're a guy, an old school guy. You'd still like to see the pitcher hitting. You'd still like to see the DH only in the American League. You wouldn't like to see these interleague plays. You want to keep it the old way. Just the plastic helmets, nothing covering the ears. The outfielders leaving their gloves in the outfield for the other team to come and use their gloves. I know,
absolutely.
I know you want to keep it old school. So.
That's very old school there. Yeah, no, I was worried about it at first, but then I heard about it. Okay, so it's 2, a game, right? So it's not like every strike, every ball that they can challenge, right? And they got to be very selective now, so of what it's going to be. And it's pretty quick. I mean, they use it in tennis. It's pretty much the same technology used in tennis for calling the lines going out, So. Okay, pretty cool. I'm curious how it's going to work out there. Like, what player, any old player is going to come up and say, "Oh, bull crap," or are they going to have like some signal from the dugout or something like, nope, challenge that or whatever, so they don't waste their challenges and 1 at bat in the first inning.
Well, they'll probably be coached up if it's obvious. Challenge it because you're not going to lose it, right? If you feel it's very egregious, we've all seen time to time something be very egregious, so they probably have the green light on those. I imagine they'll be coached up. If it's borderline and there's 2 outs and no one on, let's let it go. Let's let it go.
Yeah.
If there's men in scoring position, less than 2 outs, then you got the green light.
Right.
Now the pitcher's a different story. Now the pitcher's got the other thing, right? Pitcher's like, I got 2 outs, no on. I could have a quick inning here. I'm going to challenge this because I want to save my arm. I don't want the next guy. Matt Helmer's on deck. I can't be facing Matt Helmer. He's got 60 home runs. He's got 140 RBIs. He's feeling it. The ball looks like a beach ball to him. I cannot. I can't be pitching to him. So I got to make sure I buckle down on the guy that I'm facing right now.
Right. Yeah. I'm always not a fan of not taking out the human element, because that's what made all these games great in that. But on the other hand, with the way sports betting everything has gotten, I can understand it, because you don't want the fixes in or something like that type of thing with a lot of this stuff. So, and I think they're going about it the right way with just 2 per game unless you keep winning. I don't know. You see how it plays out. It's worked well in the minors. It's worked great in tennis. As far as challenging all that stuff. So we'll see how it works. And it seems very, like you said, it seems very, very quick, seamless. It's on the big screen. Everyone can see it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of curious how it's going to work out. Now, when I saw it, it said it's going to use it for the preseason, right? Spring training, and the postseason. I never heard this called. I never heard this before, Mike. For the regular season, they're calling it the championship series. I never heard that before. Called for the regular season, the championship series. That's what I saw on ESPN. Oh,
are they having like a tournament like basketball does now, like an in-season tournament?
Well, that's why I'm curious. It was spring training and the postseason, and then they said the championship series or championship season or something like that. So, are they talking about the regular season?
Well, the opening sentence.
I've never heard it called that before.
The opening sentence on this paragraph says Major League Baseball will implement a challenge system for balls and strikes in the 2026 season. Following years of testing in the minor leagues as well as during spring training in this year's All-Star game, MLB forged ahead with a system that will give teams 2 challenges per game.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything in this ESPN article saying.
That's it from ESPN.
Yeah, that's from ESPN. Yeah, I have it linked in the planner there. I don't see anything about championship series or.
Yeah, when I first texted you about this the other day, there's an article something about it named like 3 different seasons. I assume that the one in the middle they talked about the regular season, but I never called it. Whatever words they called it, they said something I never heard that said before about the regular season. It's always been regular season baseball.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Anyways, looks like it'll be here next year.
Yeah. See how it works out.
We are in the push for the playoffs right now. I think there's 4 games left in the season. So we'll see how things shake out. But I do have to say, Matt, because so many teams get into the playoffs now in baseball, right? Mm-hmm. There's 6 teams on each side. Is that correct?
Yeah.
3 wild card and 3 division winners.
Mm-hmm.
We do not need 12 fucking champagne things just for getting in the playoffs to play 3 more games. You could get bounced in 2. Can we please reserve the champagne for the championship round and then the World Series? Like you could talk me into like the divisional round after you win the divisional round to go to the ALDS to the ALCS. You could talk me into that first one. But I think just getting into the playoffs, I don't see it in other.
No.
You don't see it in other sports. You don't see it in football and hockey and basketball, them celebrating after every round with champagne. They have a celebration. They get hats and everything, here and there.
They got their Bud Lights and Budweisers. They're spraying those around, their hats and that. But I mean, even then, Mike, back in the day, man, it was, you was a National League champion, American League champion, or National League division, right? Because you just had the 2 divisions back in the day. There was a big celebration there, right? You won your division, and then you go on. From there on, but man, it's like the other sports. It's getting diluted. That's my feeling. You know, the championship's getting diluted. It goes on forever.
Well,
I'm not.
I think the more teams and more rounds that they have, the championship means more because you've had to survive so many different rounds. I mean, if think about it, if you were in the wild card round and you make it all the way to the World Series and win, you are really a battle-tested team and deserve that championship. My point is, I don't like teams that are like if the Red Sox get into the playoffs, they are more than likely going to get bounced in the first round. I just think it's a bad look. It's just like the Red Sox playing Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond in the 8th inning when they're losing like by 10 runs. like fucking read the room. This is not the time to celebrate. No one is happy here. We're down by 10 runs and you're playing Sweet Caroline, which have some really cringy lyrics. Touching me, touching you.
Touching you.
Fucking creepers.
You know, I just back up a minute. Like the Bengals last week, you know, we're losing 48-3, right? And they scored a touchdown. And they celebrate like the celebrations on that touchdown. It's like, really? You're fucking down 48-3.
Oh.
Don't fucking celebrate like that. What the fuck
I'm over them celebrating every interception.
You
know, that was because of COVID. No fans were in the stands. So they ran down to the cameras so the people at home could. All right, it's not COVID anymore. Can we stop?
And again,
and get off my lawn while you're at it. And while you're at it, get off my lawn.
Let's go. Either cut my grass or get off my fucking grass. You know, just stop when you're losing that bad. Score and then give the ball to the fucking referee. You didn't earn that celebration when you're losing 48-10.
Yeah, because they got the third strings out there.
Get out of here! Stop it!
Who actually is stopping it, but hasn't stopped it for a while. I know some of us on this panel here want to retire before they hit 65, but Sister Jean.
Yes.
106 years old. She just decided to retire. She said health is more important, and she's calling it a day. Sister Jean Leola Marymount, right?
Yeah. God bless her. 106, and she decides health is more important. Dude, I'm 52. Dude. I'm thinking, man.
Can you imagine, Matt, how pissed you... I'm not sure pissed... or just broke you'd be. Imagine if you said, I'm going to retire at 60, and then you live for another 46 years.
Oh, God. I'm not banking on that either, dude. I mean,
Whose financial planner is planning that?
I know none. None of them. No one's planning that. Good God. I mean, thank God, she's a nun. She lived in poverty, so, there's nothing there probably anyway, but it's like, man, 106.
106. We're just hoping we make it to Mattober, which is next Wednesday.
Yeah. My birthday.
Yeah, we getting the Xbox ROG Ally X for $1,000. Kung Fu Grip.
I think we're
trading that other one. Keep trading them in.
I think it's something smaller and wider. That might be happening.
Whoa.
I want to say. I bet that did. Wow. Holy shit.
I'm flummoxed. Wow. Now we know how he swings, folks.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
I think we got the show title. Well, that was episode 42. As I said, if only we can get to Mattober. It's hit or miss if he's going to make it till next Wednesday.
I'm done.
Wow. So you want something smaller next week?
I was thinking.
No, you weren't.
Why not? What's not? I was thinking smaller in price and wider in structure.
Oh,
color.
wider.
Whiter. No, whiter in color. Fuck.
Let's move on to a different story because I don't think Matt can get out of his own way. First he said white, now he says wider.
God.
This is a perfect segment. Matt. You want to see
hope so.
You want to see my bananas? I've been telling you about
sure,
these.
Why not?
I've been telling you about these bananas. Yeah.
What in the hell?
Look at these. These are my bananas. These are boot bananas.
Interesting.
So since I do see how they turn them brown, see that?
I do see that. Yeah.
So since I am a very avid walker, my sneakers have been getting a stench. So I bought these things. You put them inside your shoe. Smell great, minus my feet smell. But as they absorb the moisture from walking, they got a little bit of that. And you just put them like under like a if it was the wintertime, I'd put them underneath the radiator, the baseboards. Or I just put them out in the sun, and they replenish themselves, and they go right back in the shoe.
So the like brown spots should go away.
Yeah.
Wow. They absorb up, like smell and everything, or just like the moisture and shit.
Yeah, they get the smell.
Everything.
Yep. I mean, not like 100%.
Nice.
We're not talking like 100% here, but tolerably. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Right.
They do have
pretty cool.
They do have an amazing smell of the first. Your whole house will be smelling of them the first couple of days once you bust them out of the package.
Doesn't smell like bananas, does it? When you first open them up.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. All right. Good. That'd be bad.
So to circle back, is anything on the agenda for Matt? So would you say 52 or 53?
I will be 52.
You will be 52. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything on the plans? Night out in the town? What is it? A Wednesday night, right? Chinese food?
The Wednesday night. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. No, it's unfortunate. Wednesday night, middle of the week. It's like, what the hell? Chinese sounds good. I think, tomorrow night, Mike, Friday night, one of my favorite bands is going to be right down the road.
Backbeat?
So, yes, sir. So we might be headed out to that tomorrow night. Nice little outdoor venue. Going down, check them out. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what Barb's got planned. I never know what she has planned for me on my birthday.
Well, we know this year, smaller and wider.
I'm going to say I'm sure she doesn't want small and white this year.
What are you bringing into the bedroom, Matt? We hear smaller and whiter, please.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. Wednesday, I will be buying donuts for everybody. So show up at work at by 7 a.m. Get a donut if you want one. So make sure of that. But no, nothing planned. I got nothing planned. Nothing special, not going on. Regular old day, for the most part.
Yeah, it's not a big number, 52.
No. 1 year closer to retirement.
This is true. They say, Matt, once you've crossed over 50, you've lived 66% of your life already. Is that a sobering fact?
Oh, the hell of a thing.
It is.
Well, there goes my sleep for tonight.
Well, let's get into what we've been playing. I've only been playing one game, which is Borderlands 4. I know you're out at the farm, so you got some other Stardew Valley and Geometry Survivor in, but we should just probably hone in on Borderlands 4. Since we last spoke, there has been 2 updates, which to my knowledge are to improve stability, performance, some quality of life improvements specifically for people on consoles, like an FOV slider, etc. I am north of 55 hours in right now, and I am level 39. So I put quite a bit of time into it, and you were probably just a little bit less than me because you were off the grid for a few days last week. You have a later schedule than myself. But I'm curious, Matt, where you're at with the game now, 2 weeks removed from when we last spoke. What are some of your more in-depth thoughts, pluses and minuses?
I think the game is still great. I'm still very much enjoying it. You and I, knock on wood, have been very lucky with playing the game as far as bugs and issues. We have not come across anything major. But I think, story-wise, it's intriguing so far. Map-wise, the map is huge. I think, the activities in the game are good. The story is going good. The side missions have been pretty good. I think some negatives I get is repetitive of guns. Lots of guns that need charging or something along that lines for firing. I'm still having issues with getting low-level, low-powered guns. I'm getting less greens, but a lot of blues still, some purples, not many legends, which again is not a bad thing because they're trying to make the value of guns seem more meaningful, which I can understand that. But just, I think in general, I'm still enjoying the game very, very much. So there's many times where I'm at work or, it's like, man, I just want to go home and play more Borderlands. I think I've texted you this a couple of times. Like, man, I just want to get home. I just want to play. I think the game right now is getting pretty good for me. I've got my hand on some pretty decent guns, some pretty decent weapons. My build is questionable probably as far as where I'm putting my skill points and stuff. But it's pretty enjoyable for the most part. I would love to have a mini map back in the game. I'm constantly pausing and looking at the map on where to go and things to see, unfortunately. So a mini map instead of just a radar thing would be helpful if they brought that back. The characters, I'm in a new area now. So some new enemies and stuff are starting to pop up, which is pretty cool. It's a Borderlands game. It's still like, you talked about this last time we podcasted. It's Borderlands, but still the familiarity of Borderlands is kind of not there for the most part yet. If you're new to the whole thing, you can come into this game and just play and not have to worry about not being familiar with anything before, which can be good and bad. But still, as far as finding old stuff, I'm kind of like you were last, a couple weeks ago, Mike, with that.
Okay. Let's stop. Well, I guess with that point right there, back up for a little bit. We sort of did not communicate correctly. Mm-hmm. We played the first area. That's just the first area of the game. So, of course, we played that area not together, but at the same time. And then we worked together to beat the boss in that first area. And then we did not communicate well with each other. There's basically two other... This game has 3 world bosses before you fight the final boss. Okay? And Matt and I beat the first world boss. And then we did not communicate properly, and Matt went off to go to a different world boss, and I went to a different area. So now we're playing in different areas, which isn't the end of the world, but when we're playing and not on podcast, we sort of have to be, spoiler free to not, ruin anybody's, experience. So for what Matt was just talking about, well, it doesn't feel like Borderlands. I haven't encountered anybody. If we were playing the same areas, I might say to him, but I'm going to let Matt discover those things as he goes through it.
Yeah, because you kind of said something last night when we was playing. If I ran into anybody familiar, I was like, well, no, not really.
Yeah.
And you just like,
Yeah.
So.
So, yeah. Let's talk about today's update.
Yeah.
I had a really, to your point, I have not had any in-game crashes. I've had one crash when I quit the game. And that was post the first update. Now, today was a new update. Seems like they're kind of going for weekly updates. And to my knowledge, I'm not the most technical guy when it comes to this whole shaders, pre-shader compiling them. Basically, NVIDIA has around, I'm going to say 4 to 5 gigabytes maybe of what if you go into your NVIDIA app and you look at what the pre-shader compilation limit is set to, it says driver direct or directed by driver, something along those lines. And when I was listening to Digital Foundry, they said it used to be the limit was 4 gigabytes, that NVIDIA would set it at, but you can set it all the way to be 100 gigabytes. Okay. But it seems like it's maybe around 10 right now, because when I did the update today, the shaders were compiling again when you loaded them up, as you would do with a new update or a new game. And then everything really ran choppy, real stuttery. And so I let the game sit for 10, 15 minutes, like Gearbox said to do. And then things kind of evened out. But what happened is every time I go to a new area in the game, or there'd be some new set piece, the game would stutter, like you'd be jumping forward a little bit, like it was trying to download that. So what I did, according to Gearbox's thing, is if your game is still not performing well after 15 minutes, go into your local data files, find the NVIDIA folder, find the DX cache folder, and then delete the large files, anything over 10 megabytes. And there was 2 files in there. One was 8 gigabytes and one was 2 gigabytes. I deleted those, booted the game back up, and so I had to re-download all the shader compilations again. My machine was not happy. The thermometer on the thermometer on my cooler went up to 99, and it was blinking. But I'm on fast internet, so it downloaded them all pretty quickly. But since then, it's been buttery smooth again, like we had post update today. So that really helped out. So to get back to the whole shader compilations, shader compilers, and shaders just in general, from what I understand, Matt, is this could be a poor analogy. Just because I put every candy bar in the world in your Halloween basket in a few weeks doesn't mean you should eat every fucking candy bar. And the same can be said with Unreal Engine 5. Just because Unreal Engine 5 gives you a fucking gazillion shaders to use doesn't mean that Gearbox needed to use every single shader that was available to them.
Correct.
Now, I'm not going to steal words from Digital Foundry who says, hey, I want someone to tell me the difference between what Gearbox is doing visually, the visual difference between Gearbox is doing and what Doom the Dark Ages. Now, Doom the Dark Ages has much less shaders, and their game looks, their point was their game looks just as beautiful as Borderlands 5, right? It's a different color, it's a different color palette, it's a different, visual thing. But their point is you don't need to put every freaking shader into the game, that you could have narrowed it down to a smaller subset, and you might have avoided some of this bullshit that people are dealing with.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of animations, a lot of stuff that's going on in Borderlands 4 with all these shaders that are causing this. And I don't think it's just an Epic, thing, Gearbox thing. Because I notice a lot of people on the Steam Deck community complain about shaders on their Steam Deck. and this is way before Borderlands, where it takes up so much space on their storage.
Unreal Engine. They're mostly probably dealing with Unreal Engine 5 games.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And they supposedly Oblivion suffers from this same type of stuff, like Gearbox does. So, word to the wise, anybody who's out there on PC and things were kind of running rough, you can go in and delete those larger files in your local data folder, and hopefully your PC doesn't blow up when it tries to recompile and download them all. But it did run. It did run nice and buttery smooth. I had no stuttering whatsoever once I had a fresh set of shaders.
Yeah, a little editor's note. Mike and Matt are not computer experts, and in no way should any advice we be saying or given be taken to you and your computer fixing problems and so forth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, duly noted. A lot of what I said the last time we spoke, I think rings true this time as well. Feels like whoever made this game, whoever the decision makers were playing a lot of Destiny. Down to the speeder, down to the repetitive contracts that you get. So they they sort of neutered the money in the game. So in the previous Borderlands, you would need your money to expand your backpack, how much ammo you could carry around, your lost loot, your bank, etc. This time around, you earn contracts which give you SDU points, and you invest those points to expand what I just mentioned. So your cash is more for you're going around and you're unlocking these silos and other places that have vending machines. And you can buy a legendary gun. Like I bought a shotgun today. The legendary, was it rainbow vomiting something or other?
Yeah.
And it was like $640,000 for that gun. But so it's...
And that was an exclusive to that machine you went to, right? It's not like, that gun was available at all the vending. You got to shop around to the different machines to get different deals and different guns and so forth, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think RNG. Yeah. The guns, the vending machines are different. They're not the same 100%. Right. So, yeah, I think, they tried to modernize this experience by having those repeatable contracts. There's some bounties out there that are different. So, your mileage will vary there. If you only can take 5 contracts at a time, if you're out of SDU points and you need more to invest in things, then, you keep doing them. I wonder what happens when you've already, you're at max stats for all those things. Then what happens that you're just doing those things for XP at that point, and you're not really caring about the SDU points unless there's some end game piece that I'm not really grasping at the moment. I think that the biggest pain point I have with the game is there are a number of times that you have to go get said item. And to Matt's point, but they told us there'd be no fetch quests in this game. You have to go get these capsules that you bring into a safe house. And when you put this capsule into the capsule holder, it spits out a bunch of money and weapons at you. The problem is when you pick up said item and you're in the middle of the map and the safe house is, I don't know, greater than 500 meters away, you have to hoof it. You cannot use your grappling, you cannot use ladders, and you cannot use your speeder. So this thing is stuck in your right hand, right, or your left hand. Left hand. It's in your left hand. You can still shoot with your right hand, and you have to just carry it around. Doop 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 doop. And, God forbid you reload your gun or do something else. The item drops. Then you got to pick it back up. It's just, I don't know. It's just really game breaking to me. It doesn't feel like what they were going for. They were going for a real athletic, modern type of experience here with the grappling, the speeder, just a traversal. Remember, if you played Borderlands 1 and 2, you couldn't even really jump. Borderlands 3, I think, might have had the double jump in the mantling. So it seems like they've went way back to Borderlands 1 where you have to carry this shit around. but then there's a juxtaposition of all the other things that you can do in this game. So it's really a bum out that was a decision that you made, that you had to go get these things, and then you got to, you can carry all these guns with you. You can carry all this ammo with you. You got the Echo 4 with you, but then you can't carry a little satchel or a little capsule.
No, you got to take it. And then when you go, certain areas where you go, and you got to throw this thing to get to air, to climb a wall or jump or something like that. This thing will fly like a goddamn Concorde across the sky. So you throw it, and you just hope that when you get to where you're going, it's going to be there or something, or what you got to find it again.
Borderlands 4 is a very vertical game. You're doing a lot of exploring, and you're doing a lot of jumping to this place, using your grappling hook to go to this other place. And so if you got this item with you, and the safe house is vertically higher in the air, to Matt's point, you can't just go use your grapple to get there. You have to throw the item first and then grapple, or do the opposite, drop the item where you are, grapple, and then you can use your grappling gun to pull the item back up with you. So it's like a puzzle. So if you're into puzzle-based things, you might dig this. The problem is, like Matt said, you throw the item, and if you're not careful of how you throw it, meaning all right, I'm going to throw it so it bounces off the wall a little bit and then drops down. And if you're just willy-nilly throwing this thing, you could really throw it off the map to the point that you have to go back, it resets itself, and you have to go all the way back to where you found the item and then start this process over again. Yeah,
I've done that many times where I've so close to being back to where you drop it off. I've done something or did something. I was like, where'd it go? It's gone, and it blends in. It doesn't highlight or anything. It just blends in with shit. So you got to be really careful when you do that.
The other thing I'll say about the game, Borderlands, people complained about Borderlands 3 and maybe some of the other, there was a lot of, their games are a lot of fetch quests in them, right? But they were all different quests, to my knowledge, if I'm remembering correctly. There might have been a lot of them, but they were all different. Now, again, they've put some modern stuff in this game where, yes, to Matt's point, the maps are big and there's a lot of stuff to do in the maps, but it's a lot of the same stuff over and over again, just in a different place. So you got to go to this drill thing and you got to power it up. They have that in couple different areas. These, think of games where there's propaganda microphones. You got to go there and do kind of like a tower defense thing until it counts up to 100. And so you have a couple of those in every region. So it is more like the Division and Destiny in that aspect, where, yes, there's a lot of things to do, but the type of things you're doing repeat itself over and over again. Where I didn't really feel like that in Borderlands 3. It was, it was a lot of stuff to do, but it was all different stuff. Even it could have been bullshit stuff. It was just different. And so,
yeah, you're right.
And so your mileage will vary if that gets too repetitive over time. Fuck, I just did one of those propaganda things. Now I got to do it again. Or I just climbed up all the way with this drill and did what I needed to do. I got to do that again.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, you're sitting there. Borderlands 3 had different areas, things. You do the collectibles, all that stuff, but it didn't seem as repetitive as a lot of stuff that we're doing in this game, as far as getting the radio towers, the vault signs, stuff like that. It just seems
they've modernized the game. They have. They wanted to bring it into what gamers are used to because they feel that maybe they need. I don't know what they feel. Maybe that's what gamers are used to, so we got to appeal to them, or the younger people like doing that, or this is just the way games are made now. We need to stop thinking of the way we made games before, and we just got to do what everybody else is doing. That's not to say it's a bad game. I like the game. If I had to give it a score right
Oh,
now, it'd be an 8 to an 8.5, somewhere in that range, which I think is a good score for this game. I'm already 50 plus hours in. I can easily see another 50 plus hours. And we'll see where the story goes. I think the story is going to get better over time based on what I've seen in the second section. I liked going into the vaults. I've only been in one vault so far. I liked that experience. It was not easy. It was more difficult than vaults in some of the other games. Was it a little repetitive of waves of enemies here and there? Yes, but we'll see how that shakes out. I've only been in one so far. Presumably there's another 3 or 4 to go, I would think.
yeah, I'm sure there's probably, right, each region, right? So, yeah, we probably get, 4 or 5, maybe. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Mike. I think the game's great. I think there's replayability. I'm for sure going to probably play it again on a different character, different build type of thing.
No. I mean, it's unfortunate we're on different schedules right now with me not working and you working that this is the ultimate co-op game and we've done very little co-op.
Yeah.
Just like we've said before, we kind of screwed the pooch on that. But yeah, there's replayability for sure. Once we get our fill of Battlefield 6, I'm sure we'll be circling back to this to run another character. And then maybe we can get some more co-op play in then when it is not so high stakes with the story and everything.
Mm-hmm.
All the spoilers will have been spoiled.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting to hear the narrative about this game. A lot of people are upset with it. The console people, it's a crazy bug that after 30 to 60 minutes there's a memory leak and the performance degrades and you got to power it off and restart. That's unexcusable. Game by 2K and Gearbox. This is not their first rodeo. That should have been addressed. The PC woes that people have been having, I think admittedly some of those are self-inflicted. I think anybody who's trying to run stuff on epic settings, badass, top-notch, I don't know. Unless you got top-notch gear, I don't know what you're doing. This is not a 6 or 7 year old game that you're trying to your system can easily run. This is something that's brand new. Can anybody tell the difference between epic badassery versus whatever the setting is below? I doubt it. It just seems like a flex at this point. I don't think it's realistic for gamers, people like us who got systems that are 2 or 3 years old, to be running things in epic settings. I just let NVIDIA control the settings on this one. I just went into the app and did optimize. So I have a mix of very high, medium, and low, depending on some things. And like I said last week, I can't play it natively at 4K. I got to go down to 1440p. I think it looks great. I think some other people probably have legitimate issues. And I think there's also a subset of people that say, nope, I paid for this. I have this type of monitor. I have this type of system. God damn it, it should run on the most badass settings. And I don't think that's a reality at where we're at right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm playing at 1440p. I'm getting the content at 60, 70 frames per second. The game is running very, very smooth. Very good for me. I've got no complaints. I'm having fun. I don't know. I'm having fun. I paid $60, I paid $100.
110 because you had to get the other thing.
Yes, sir. And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I think Gearbox has plenty of blame that should go their way. We've had conversations offline. Is Gearbox attracting the best talent? Are they a remote-only company, or are they a company that people have to, move to Texas, Frisco, Texas, or a lot of people want to go to Frisco, Texas and work there? These are all questions that can be asked when a game launches in this state, and a lot of people are having issues. I don't want to dismiss people that are having legitimate issues. I will dismiss the people that are running it epic across the board and goes, my game doesn't run right. I think those people are outliers. I think people that got a stable system and they're on medium settings like Matt and and they're not getting good performance, that's a different issue. But I do think there's plenty of blame to go around with Gearbox and Epic. And are they working together? How integrated are they? How integrated is Epic with these developers when they're using Unreal Engine 5? Are they coaching them? Use every shader that's available. That's why we made it. Or are they saying to them, hey, that's not the best play here. Instead of using 100% of the shaders, maybe scale that back to 75% or 60%. And you're going to get better performance, thus better ratings, thus better reviews, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I want the whole pre-shader loading, all that beforehand is helping with, like no loading screens and stuff like that, where it's smooth transition from area to area and from different things. If that's helping with that, they're already loaded, so you can just go and play.
Yeah. So that's where we are with Borderlands 4. By the time we meet again, maybe we will have played some Battlefield, but I'm not sure. Got to look at the calendar there. So it might still be some Borderlands. I'm interested to see where this story goes. And I don't know. A lot can be said. 55 hours in, level 39. I really don't feel like I'm sleepwalking through the game ease-wise. It feels like it's adequate. Could it be a little harder in certain areas? Sure. Am I complaining about that? No, because life is hard right now, and do I need something else in my life to be hard at the same time? No, not really. But I did go through that second world boss one time. I didn't die at all. I think I coached you on the vault boss that you encountered last night, and you went through that without dying, right? You might have died and then revived with the second wind, but you didn't.
I had second. Yeah, I did second wind. Yeah, sure.
But you didn't have to start over again and lose all sorts of money.
No.
So
and I'm happy with that. I the other night was maybe the night before, Mike, I did that boss fight where I was very frustrated. We was playing. Where I was fighting something. It was very frustrating, but last night was very satisfying and very good. I think there's a good, for me, it's a good level of difficulty and fun that I'm having. I'm not to a point where it's like, okay, fuck this game. I'm pissed off. I don't want to play because it's too hard or anything like that. And for me, I'm at a good level, good balance right now with the game.
Whose time meter do you trust better, Steam or Gearbox? Because when I go to Steam, it says I'm 55, blah blah blah. When I go to both pull up the game on go to the main menu and it tells you how long you've played, it's off by about 10 hours. My gut says to trust Steam because Steam just seems like they got a handle on that.
Yeah, I've never looked at the other number. I would have to look at that and see. But for me, for Steam, it's 28.1 hours is what it says here for me. I don't know. I've never really kept track of any of that. I'd have to look at the other number that you're telling me about and see. But
the only reason I'm keeping track is all right, I'm level 39, 55 hours. Is that little less than one level per hour, about an hour and a half ish to level up? Is that adequate? Should it be more? Should it be less? Just trying to have that in my mind there. But
I'm level 25, so
yeah, that's about right. Maybe about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. Okay. Anything else you want to say about Borderlands 4?
I'm happy. I got no complaints. I got nitpicky stuff, right? But I'm playing the game. Nothing's made me stop playing the game. So,
the last nitpicky thing I have before we move on is the menus. I blame this again on Destiny. Was Destiny the first game that brought in the sort of mouse into the menu system?
The little cursor that you move around with your controller.
Yeah. I mean, it is not very accurate in the map at all. Because I'm gaming on my PC, anytime I have to go into the menu system, I'm using my mouse. It's just much smoother,
So
much
much
more
easier.
accurate, and I'm on my way. With the controller, I'm like fiddling in with it, trying to get it exactly where I want to be.
Yep.
And no game really has developed what I would call an excellent UI when it comes to the comparing system. When you compare one item versus the other, like today, I had the compare on, and then I wanted to add something like make one of them like a trash and add it to the things are blocking the screen. You had to exit to compare. You had to remember which item you were looking at and then click on it and then click on, I want to add this to the trash icon, the junk pile.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little clunky. There's some work to be done there. Quality of life things, for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to some news, sir. We already touched upon the price of the ROG Ally, Xbox Ally X, and the Xbox ROG Ally. The prices don't seem that bad, Matt. Now, Microsoft has once again raised the price of their consoles. This is the second price increase this year for the Xbox Series S and the X. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all the different models. I'm just going to go through the models that most people have. So the Xbox Series X was $599, and now it has gone up another $50 to $649.99. I think when we first got those, did we get those for
$499?
$499. So about $150 they've gone up in price. Mm-hmm. The Xbox Series S went up $20, so that's now $399. And I think those originally launched at $299.99. So they say beginning on 3rd of October, we will update the recommended retail pricing for Series S and Series X consoles in the United States due to changes in the macroeconomic environment. We understand that these changes are challenging and they were made with careful consideration. Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen and providing value for Xbox players. I think there's some truth in there, but we're going to get to that in just a moment. I think anybody who's listening who's on the fence for a Nintendo Switch 2 and you're looking to get it for less than $500, now is your time to act. I think sooner than later we're going to see the Switch 2 get a price bump, and maybe somewhere down the line Sony's going to raise their prices for the second time. However, before I get your opinion on all this, Matt, I want to read this other story here. This is from Mike Ybarra. He formerly was the Blizzard president, and prior to that, I believe he was a vice president at Xbox. A long tenured employee at Microsoft. I want to say somewhere between 10 to 20 years. He says console price increases are not tariff issues. They are profit issues. An excuse to continue raising prices with no new increase in tariffs is simply a different problem, and they are going to make consumers continue to pay for those problems. So, Matt, I'd like your opinion on the prices increasing, and then do you believe this gentleman, Mike Ybarra, who says it's not tariffs, that tariffs haven't gone up for a second time, that they've only gone up once. So why is Microsoft now raising their prices a second time?
Well, in my opinion, it's unfortunate, right? Prices are up. This is, I think, I'm sure people will prove me wrong, but I'm sure this is the first time console gaming history where like prices have gone up like this on an existing system that's so many years old, right? Normally prices go down. Maybe like the $399 range or $450 range or something like that. So I think it could be a combination of both tariffs and just market Prices everywhere is going up, right? For everything. Wages are going up. People want to be paid more. We've talked about this before. People want to get paid more. People want to make these games and stuff, and it's got to come out somewhere to pay them more. So maybe this has got something to do with it. Microsoft bought up a lot of gaming companies. They got to pay for that shit somehow.
Who's running out and buying these? Like, to your point, these are older systems. It's year 5 this fall. They came out in the fall of COVID 2020. So we're going into year 5. It's unprecedented that these consoles have gone up in price. But who is the person now? Like, I guess the point I'm trying to get at is, if you're a gamer and you were on the Xbox One and you were just kind of waiting it out. There's some people that are very frugal and say, I'll wait till year 3 or 4, and then when it goes down in price, then I'll snatch it up. Are those people who are sort of they're a gamer, they call themselves a gamer, they're in tune. Are they saying, well, fuck, I waited too long, I guess I just got to get... Those people aren't buying it. Those people are going to go to the secondary market. They're going to go to a game shop and get the item used.
Correct.
I'm trying to think of who would be the person that's buying an Xbox right now. Someone like me or you who has an Xbox as our primary system and it breaks.
Could be that.
A replacement, have to go out and get a new one.
Could be that. Could be someone.
Little Bobby got older and a Christmas present.
Could be someone who had a PlayStation 5 this whole generation, and now they want an Xbox. To play on something different, have something different or something, or something's coming out. Look at me. What I'm thinking about doing. So it's like I can see that part of it, but not that many.
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to drive home is that not that many, so they have to drive the price up even more. So if I'm making a number off, if only 1,000 people are buying these a month, well, it's 1,000 times $50 more. So we're just making a little bit more. I can't see them. I can't see either Sony or Microsoft selling a ton of these things into year 5 right now. Maybe, PlayStation a little bit more, just because I think they have market share, mind control over that stuff. They got the Ghost of Yotei coming out, and the Wolverine trailer just came out. I'm not 100% sure if that's... I think that's a PlayStation only, because Insomniac's owned by Sony. I think to start, that's a PlayStation only game. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not into the economics of things. I can't tell you tariffs have only gone up once and not twice. And I don't have my finger on that pulse to know what's truth, what's bullshit, and what's in between there. But I think my overall point is, if it's $649 to get an Xbox Series X, now it's $1,000 to get that handheld. It is expensive to get into the Microsoft Xbox ecosystem, and that's why they're pushing so hard that your phone is an Xbox, your TV's an Xbox, your iPad's an Xbox. They had a thing out today on BlueSky. If you can read this is an Xbox. So they don't care where you're coming in from the ecosystem, and they'll just continue to raise their prices. I'm very, very curious to see what they do with their next iteration. Is this all a test bed to see what gamers are willing to spend? Mm-hmm. And it feels like Sony. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it feels like Sony's going the opposite direction. Maybe we're not going to go so tech heavy, and we're going to go back a little bit more towards the Nintendo and give you a cheaper, more flexible, backwards compatible machine. Very, very. I think we're in some interesting times here coming up.
I'm not sure gamers are going to accept that, though. You're talking about a premium system like PlayStation, right? Because it is going backwards. Well,
not backwards as far as PS4, but not a huge jump from. It's going to be more powerful than the PS5, but it's not going to blow your socks off dollars wise. It's going to play it more safe to the more commonly used guts inside there to keep it at a relatively cheap price and not pushing the envelope with the max, cores. What was the term that they were? More flops.
Yeah, flops. Back in the day, the flop.
Yeah, you're not going to have 1,000 flops in this,
I don't know how it's going to play out, Mike, because, right, gamers. When someone says next gen, they're thinking leaps and bounds. Okay, what you're talking about is a mid-step. It is.
I think the times we're in, everything and anything is on the table, and it's going to be the Wild West.
You're saying the times we're in, but we're talking about gamers here.
You see those portable speakers?
People complain about Borderlands that just came out, about the stuff on Borderlands. And you think people are going to be happy with PlayStation doing like a mid-step like that and calling it a major release? No.
I think their eyes are open when they see how many Switches sell. And they say, geez, we need to get into that market there. People want to play these things on their hands, and they more care about portability than they do about refresh rates. And we'll let AI, some of this, machine learning stuff, fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. For me, I'm like you. Give me the more powerful machine here because that's what I want. But I think, to their point, people like us are being phased out of gaming. These over 50 people doing less and less gaming, and the younger people are playing on their phones, and they want
more fun. Yeah, right.
They want to tap into that portability.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you're correct there. Yep.
All right. Speaking of portability, the Xbox full screen mode, not an app, not an OS. They're calling this a mode. Has leaked on Windows. Windows enthusiasts have found a way to get the new Xbox full screen experience running on Windows 11. According to Tom Warren at The Verge, Microsoft is getting ready to launch its full screen experience on the new Xbox Ally devices next month, but you won't have to wait. Windows enthusiasts have discovered a way to enable this new Xbox mode early in Windows 11 thanks to the latest 25H2 update to the operating system. And he's got a video there of it running on the smaller, whiter Xbox Ally on his video. Where is your patience level with this, Matt? Are you willing to wait till it comes out officially, or are you going to be doing some tinkering to get this on your current Xbox, your current ROG Ally X?
I think I'll wait officially, let everything get fleshed out. But I do like the fact that they're calling it a mode, instead of like an alternative OS or something like that, where it could be possibly, all right, you're clicking something and it switches, kind of like the on the Ally, the armory crate, armory crate type of thing, or like a Valve Steam thing. So I'm very curious about that, but I'm not going to go and before it's fully baked, go out and mess with it.
It says the new Xbox full screen experience doesn't load the full Windows desktop or a bunch of background processes, instead freeing up more memory for games. It essentially not loading the Explorer shell and saving around 2 gigabytes of memory by suppressing all the unnecessary parts of a typical Windows 11 installation. However, you can still swap into a Windows desktop mode or access Windows apps and games directly in this full screen Xbox mode. Microsoft warns that. Yeah. So, we'll see how quickly it comes to the devices that we already own.
Yeah, like I said, there's probably people, can tinker and get it going now and that, but I'm going to wait till it's officially probably rolled out. But it seems, if it works the way they're advertising, man, that's going to be cool.
It does. It does. And the last story here, Matt, this has really caught me by surprise. Lenovo cancels Legion Go 2 pre-orders on its own website after demand substantially exceeded projections. Lenovo has confirmed that while Legion Go 2 units are now making their way to major retailers globally, some pre-orders placed on Lenovo's very own website will need to be canceled. Company did not confirm how many pre-orders have been affected, but said it was truly sorry for the inconvenience has caused. We will need to cancel some pre-orders placed directly on our site. We don't believe in holding on to customer payments for products we can't ship in a timely manner. As soon as our online inventory is replenished, Lenovo.com will show updated availability and ordering will reopen. So these are very expensive handhelds. I think some of them can be up to like $1,300. And so what is exceeding expectations is not clear. I think these are niche items, right? So it has an 8.8-inch OLED display with VRR support. It comes equipped with the Z2 or Z2 Extreme, and also 32 gigabytes of RAM and 2 terabytes of SSD storage. So these are not cheap, and they're high-end enthusiast models. So they probably didn't expect to sell a lot of these. They make these things probably because they want to get into the market, see what it does, be a player in it, and then go from there more long term. Lenovo, sells a ton of ThinkPads and everything else that they can, tinker around with some of this stuff as well. So,
yeah, I'm still confused. I mean, you pre-order something, right? To guarantee you're going to get something, and when the pre-orders sell out, then that's it. They're gone. So, curious or canceling some pre-orders.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
I've never ordered directly from I'm trying to think, Sony, maybe I've ordered directly from Microsoft, maybe here and there. Usually Best Buy. Best Buy. Walmart certainly has a case for canceling a lot of pre-orders. Target as well. Those systems get a little wonky late in the night when something goes on and they let too many go through, and some of those have to get canceled. I'm not sure if that's here. Or maybe, there's some bad players in the system there, and they're not trying to give those people any sort of kudos, and they're just saying, hey, we had to cancel some of these.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wonder how much, bots and AI is coming into this as just, spam and ordering and stuff, and how that's screwing things up. We never had that back in the day. Yeah. So I'm curious how much of that's fucking things up.
So as it stands right now, Matt, any FOMO on the Xbox Ally X? Are you sitting here going, "Wow, wish I could plunk the money down on that. I wish I could get that."
No, because I've got this beautiful looking, fine looking machine back here that looks less stupider than what they're getting ready to sell, and I'll be able to do all that shit on here. So no, I'm no FOMO on that thing. I'm sorry.
Okay. How much would that
What about
be?
you, Mike?
I like to have the devices. I like to get my hands on them, but truth be told, I like to get out from underneath some of these handhelds that I have, but I love this 42-inch LG TV I have here. I know it's 5 years old, but it looks so good. And then I got the TV. The handheld usage for me is not. You go to the farm. I don't go anywhere.
Yeah, this is nice on the back patio at the farm. Playing games and doing stuff there. It's not a substitute for my main gaming, but it's a nice. Go out. I can still continue on and do things. Yeah.
But the other thing I mentioned before, I'm also visually some of these like games on the handheld shooters, especially. You mentioned you were talking about Borderlands 4 last time that you were having a difficult time picking up the enemies. Are you still having that? Because I was having that issue when I was playing on the handhelds. I don't have that issue here on the computer. Especially now, you get 50 hours into it. You get a sort of rhythm and feel of where the enemies are going to be. But are you still having some of that?
Here and there, it depends on the environment, what's going on. It's not as bad. I think I'm getting more used to the game, like and how things are working. So I think that's helping. But it's getting better. Not perfect, and using a handheld for Borderlands, it's more for going around exploring, doing little side things here and there, type of thing. Mm-hmm. Not for.
We talk about FOMO and missing out on things. Things I generally do not miss out on is UI updates. Have you downloaded the? Have you updated your Xbox app on your PC so it now shows you like all the games you have installed on your system, regardless of Epic and Microsoft or Steam, and you can use all the different filters to say just show me the Steam games or just show me the Microsoft games or show me everything I have installed, regardless of from who?
Well, I'm doing it now. I just opened on my Xbox app and just said update available. So I'm clicking on it now. So I guess we'll find out here.
Okay. And Steam has a new UI for the store. It doesn't seem like it's just making it available for everyone right away. There's like a news section in Steam, and it says, "Hey, we're rolling out the update from the beta for the store, and you can see it here, and you click it here. And once you click that, you get the new sort of layout. So there's like the shopping cart's a different place, and the wish list is right next to it."
Oh wow! No, I'm not experienced that.
Yeah. So those are things I generally don't try to miss out on because I'm a UX UI guy. I like that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I like a good UI.
All right. Anything else you want to touch upon before we end here?
No. I would just like to clarify that even though I am white, there is nothing small.
Oh God.
We're just
putting that out there, literally.
That's just bananas. Mike's bananas there. Look good seeing Mike. I'd like to smell Mike's bananas.
All right. On that note, the next time we convene again, Matt will be 1 year older. So everybody send him birthday wishes next Wednesday.
Yes, please. Please, thank you.
And we'll talk to you then.
It feels so good when you do that.